Now, to be honest with you, I used to look up to these successful people on social media and be inspired by their success stories, but at the same time, I was thinking that making $1,000 per day was impossible, until I realized it was only my own limiting beliefs holding me back and nothing else. So I'll tell you straight up, the only thing standing between you and making $1,000 per day, or even just $10,000 per month, it's only yourself and your own limiting beliefs. And that's exactly why my goal in today's video is to share with you how simply shifting my mindset, my perspective, allowed me to go from struggling financially over 5 years ago to nowadays making upwards of $1,000 per day, most of it in profit in my early 20s with my own consulting business. Now share this video with a friend and drop a comment, and to thank you, when we get to 100,000 subs, I will be giving away $10,000. So the first limiting belief I had in my mind, and you probably still have this one too, is that I thought that succeeding would take a long time. At the same time online, I could see those people making huge claims like going from $0 to $100,000 per month in just 90 days with no experience. Obviously I could smell bullshit, but at the same time I knew it wouldn't have to take forever to start making $10,000 per month consistently, because I could clearly see success stories of people who started off with nothing and very quickly they were able to build profitable businesses. And so now looking back, I realize it only takes a long time to succeed when you have no idea what you're doing, because most likely you're trying to figure everything out on your own. But if you already knew how to make $10,000 per month consistently, or if you already knew how to run a profitable online business, then you would probably already have that successful business. But the reason why you're not there yet is because there's certain things that you simply don't know. I want you to realize this. There's no law in the universe that says that you cannot go from $0 to $10,000 per month, for example, in 90 days or even less, technically speaking. There's nothing physically preventing you from doing it in this universe. I mean, if we told a multi-millionaire to complete this challenge, they would be able to complete it successfully in one day, because they have the knowledge and the expertise that the beginner simply doesn't have. So it's not physically impossible to get quick results. But then, how come 99% of people never hit the 10k per month mark? It's for two reasons. It's because they lack a clear, proven step-by-step process to follow, they have no mentor to guide them and to get them unstuck whenever they make mistakes. And the other thing that holds them back is that they let their doubts and their fears, their anxieties hold them back. Now to help you, I've recorded a free video in which I'm going to share with you everything I did step by step to build a profitable consulting business that makes me upwards of $1,000 per day in profit. And in that video, I'm also going to reveal the only 3 activities you need to focus on if you're serious about building your business and becoming financially free. I will leave the link in the description below, or you can also directly apply to book a call with me or my team, and we'll see if we can help you to build your business. The other limiting belief I had at some point, and lots of beginners also struggle with this, is that for some reason you're not cut out for this. I'll be honest with you, at first everybody thinks that regardless of which business they start, or regardless of what they're trying to accomplish in life. I think if I remember correctly, at some point somebody told Michael Jordan, you know, the big basketball star, that he would never become successful in basketball. That's kind of ironic, isn't it? Or that he wasn't talented enough to make it, he wasn't good at basketball. That's what they said. Well, I mean, clearly, as you can see, just because somebody says something to you, like if they say, oh, you can't make it, you'll never achieve it, it means jack shit, because you make your own goddamn story. You make your own luck. And so at first, it's perfectly normal if you doubt your offer, your niche, your pricing, your ability to deliver, and if you have imposter syndrome, it's normal too, because you're just getting started. You will never be 100% confident in anything that you do. But the good news is, you do not need 100% of confidence in yourself or in what you do to be able to just get started and to put one foot in front of the other. And if anything, it would be pretty abnormal to never doubt anything that you're doing, because you're human. You're going to have fears, you're going to doubt certain things. But over 5 years ago, what I realized is that fear was preventing me from doing the things I needed to do in order to become successful. But if I stayed as I was, in my comfort zone, scared to reach out to prospects, scared to show myself and to make content online, then I knew I would die with my dreams. And to me, that was the worst tragedy. I couldn't accept that. Especially coming from the lower middle class, I knew it was my duty to become successful and to set my family free from this hell. Because growing up, I would hear my parents every single day complaining about the price of food, the price of bread, and that was no way to live. So I wasn't going to just give up, throw my hands in the air and do nothing. No, I couldn't accept that. But one day, I stumbled upon the following quote: successful people do not have less fear than you do, they simply have more courage. And this completely changed my perspective, because for a long time, I seriously believed successful people had something I didn't. But then I met some celebrities, I spoke with certain successful people, and I realized that they're just normal people. You know, in the morning, they take a shit like everybody else. They're not different than you and I, but it's simply that they're following the right proven process consistently, and that's why they make 100 times, even 1,000 times more money than you do. But as long as you keep telling yourself, successful people have something that I don't, you won't always be stuck in the same position, because you put success and successful people on a pedestal. And so when you do that on a subconscious level, you signal to your brain, you cannot have it. it's out of reach. But if you want to become successful, making money and spending money has to become your new norm. Now, the other thing I'd like to share with you, and this held me back for so long, and for me it was key to realize this so I could move forward and grow my business. The thing that held me back for a long time, it was all the imaginary problems, imaginary worst case scenarios my brain was coming up with. You have to realize that in life, you can only face two types of obstacles: real, tangible obstacles and imaginary obstacles. So let me give you an example. A real tangible obstacle would be something like, I have conducted 40 sales calls, but no one bought my product. That is a real tangible problem. You need to figure out what happened so you can fix it, you get the data, you get the feedback from the market, and then you improve and you will start to make money successfully. And like I said, if you're trying to figure out everything by yourself, your chances of messing everything up and struggling for months and for years, they are extremely high. I tried to do it myself for like close to 10 years and I never made any money online until I invested in myself to get the knowledge and the guidance I needed to start my business. So if you'd like me to help you to build your business, I invite you to check out the resources in the description below. But most of the time, the funny thing is, it's not a tangible obstacle that's going to hold us back. Rather, it will be an obstacle created in the mind, because you have to realize that your brain is not your best friend. Your brain doesn't care that you want to become a multi-millionaire or make $10,000 per month. Your brain doesn't care that you want to get jacked when you could just go and eat a pizza or a piece of cake. The part of your brain that people call the lizard brain, it's short-term oriented. It doesn't think long-term. It's the part of your brain that is scared to invest, to lose right now, to win big in the future. Most people would rather not lose as opposed to win big. But an imaginary obstacle would be something like, I fear that nobody will pay me for my services. I fear everybody's going to be unsatisfied. I fear nobody's going to take me seriously. So as you can see, it's never something based on real tangible obstacles. It's always inside of your head. And the only way to disprove this nasty limiting belief is to figure out what you need to do to prove your brain wrong. So if you think, for example, nobody's going to take me seriously and pay me, let's say, $1,500 for my services, well, you have to ask yourself, what would disprove this belief? Going out there, making some content, reaching out to potential customers, setting appointments, and closing a client. Because no amount of meditating, wishing, daydreaming will help you to overcome that limiting belief other than just doing the thing that you need to do to sign a client. Now, the other thing I'd like to share with you is that you really need to understand that money is abundant, it's not scarce, because you can make as much money as you want. Ever since the US dollar is not pegged to gold anymore, so when the gold standard was abolished in the United States, every other country followed suit, meaning that nowadays, money is literally just digits on a screen linked to nothing tangible or real or material. You can make as much money as you want, so that's why we have billionaires, but you cannot have a billion years to live on this planet. So time is always far more precious than money. In life, there's typically two currencies, time or money, and you always pay with either time or with money. Typically, when you work a job, in order to get money, you pay with your time. Or let's say you wanted to start a business, you can do everything yourself and pay with your time, or you can leverage contractors or hire employees and you pay money to leverage the time of others. And so a business allows you to create exponential growth, whereas a typical employment does not allow you to do this. It's typically very capped when it comes to how much money you can generate. So honestly, my best advice to you is this: start exposing yourself to wealth and to luxury more often. And I don't mean virtually, I don't mean go and watch videos of like penthouses, tours, or go and watch videos of cars, because it's only virtual. You need to see these things in the real world. It's much more powerful than having a vision board or than visualizing it in your head. When I did this, it completely changed my perspective, because you can be, let's say, a fan of sports cars and you see one on a picture on the internet and it's great, but when you see one in real life, you can even touch it, you can go to the dealership, ask to see the inside, it will completely blow your mind, because then you see the price tag of that car, $300,000, and you realize some people walk in that shop and buy that car. In fact, there's dozens of customers just like this one who do this every year. And then you realize, oh my god, I'm struggling to make ends meet, I barely have any money to do all the things that I want, while some people buy a $300,000 car in cash. What the hell? And then it gives you the fuel that you need to go out there and to put in the work. And the reason why I used this funny anecdote is because when I was a teen, I pestered my father until he agreed to go to expensive dealerships. We went to McLaren, Ferrari, I think we also saw some Bentleys, some Lamborghinis, because what I really wanted to show my father was how abundant money was. Because if some people can afford to drive a $300,000 car, which was more expensive than our house, it really opens up your mind to all the possibilities in this world. The other thing I'd like to share with you, and this will completely change the way that you view the world, is to start surrounding yourself with people who think like you, or even better yet, with successful mentors. Everything I know today about sales, about building a business, about making content, I didn't just come up with it myself. I learned it from other people, which is why what's amazing when you start an online business is that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to be a genius with a crazy IQ, and you don't need to do something completely revolutionary that's never been done before. As we speak right now, there's plenty of 20-something-year-olds. They make tens of thousands of dollars per month. All of that because they have an online business this and they learned how to do it from successful mentors. That's exactly what I've done myself. But back when I was still a teen, like I was maybe 13 or 14, 15, because obviously I couldn't afford to work with mentors, what I started by doing, it was simply to consume all the YouTube videos. I read all the books I could find on money. So I started reading books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I read books like Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And then I worked my way up and eventually I was able to invest in training programs and it completely changed my life. Now, like we saw, 99% of the time, what's going to hold you back, it won't be an imaginary fear. So nothing tangible, nothing that's actually real. But if you let your fears win, you will never get what you want. Because I can tell you for a fact that everything you're dreaming of right now, an incredible life, maybe you want to live a life of luxury, or maybe you don't care about that. Maybe you just want to wake up in the morning doing something that you love for a living without a boss to tell you what to do and when to do it. Or maybe you just want to provide for the people that you love. Whatever it is that you want, I can guarantee right now that everything you want is on the other side of the things you're afraid to do. And you really need to understand that every single time your mind is going to make these things sound a lot worse than they actually are. So me 5 years ago, I realized that if I wanted to become successful, I would need to not only change the way I think, but also the way I behaved. Because I couldn't stay undisciplined, inconsistent, unwilling to take risks, and somehow end up becoming a successful person. I knew it wasn't going to happen. So what I did is that I grabbed a piece of paper and a pen, and I wrote down everything I was afraid to do. And this completely changed my life. My life has never been the same ever since I did this. And even to this day, I'm still doing it. Because the thing is, even when you start to make more money, even when you become successful, to go to the next level, it will require you to face new challenges, to overcome new obstacles and new fears. So the game never stops. You always have to be willing to face your fears. And if you're not, then you will simply never become successful. So it's either you want to be successful more than you want to stay in your comfort zone, or you don't. It's really that simple. Now look, if you are part of that minority of ambitious individuals who wants to be able to quit their 9-to-5 jobs and to become financially free, I invite you to check out the free resources in the description below, or to directly apply to book a call with me or my team, and we'll see if we can help you to build your business. With that being said, I'm waiting for you on the other side.